Applying the graphical method to word problems. Welcome, everyone. Before we dive into today's lesson, let's take a moment to reflect on what we have already mastered. In our previous lessons, we focused on the mechanics of algebra, specifically, how to plot linear equations on a coordinate plane and how to pinpoint exactly where those lines meet, which we call their intersection points. However, as we move forward, you will notice a shift in complexity. In the real world, math problems don't usually arrive neatly written as equations on a page. Instead, you'll encounter descriptive scenarios, like calculating costs in a shop or determining distances, where the equations are hidden within the text. To bridge this gap, we must learn how to translate these descriptive situations into mathematical models. This essential skill of turning words into solvable equations is what we call mathematical modeling. Now, I know that moving from words to graphs might seem daunting, but it doesn't have to be. To make this process manageable, we are going to follow a structured, four-step approach that we will break down in the next slide. This will give you a clear roadmap to solve any word problem using the graphical method. The four-step process. Now that we understand that real-world problems require us to build our own mathematical models, let's look at the specific roadmap we will use. To solve these problems effectively, we follow a structured four-step process. First, we have variable assignment. Before you start calculating, you must identify the two unknown quantities the problem is asking you to find. Once identified, assign a variable, usually x and y, to each of these unknowns. A very important tip here: be extremely specific about what your variable represents. For instance, instead of simply saying, "Let x be the pen," you should say, "Let x be the cost of one pen in rupees." This precision will save you from confusion later on. Second, we move to equation formulation. This is where we translate verbal statements into algebraic equations. To do this successfully, you need to act like a translator, looking for mathematical keywords. For example, the word sum tells you to use addition, difference implies subtraction, times indicates multiplication, and words like is or equals tell you where to place the equals sign. Remember, each distinct condition or sentence provided in the problem will typically correspond to one linear equation. Third, we perform the graphical resolution. Now that you have your pair of linear equations, you need to visualize them. Start by creating a table of at least two coordinates for each equation. Then, plot these points on a Cartesian plane and draw the straight lines through them. The most critical part of this step is finding the point where the two lines intersect. That specific intersection point, which we denote as x, y, provides the numerical values for our unknowns. Finally, we reach step 4, verification. Never assume your graph is perfect. To be certain, substitute your calculated values of x and y back into the original conditions provided in the word problem. If these values satisfy all the given conditions, then you can be confident that your solution is correct. In the next few slides, we are going to put this entire four-step process into practice with a comprehensive example involving stationary costs. Comprehensive example. Now that we understand the four-step framework, let's put it into practice with a comprehensive example. Here is our problem. Imagine you are at a stationery shop. You notice that the cost of 2 pencils and 3 erasers is $12. At the same time, you see that 4 pencils and 1 eraser cost $11. Our goal is to find the individual cost of 1 pencil and 1 eraser using the graphical method we just discussed. To begin, we must move into step 1, which is variable assignment. As I mentioned in our previous slide, we cannot simply say, "Let x be the pencil." We must be precise. So, let's define our unknowns clearly. Let x represent the cost of 1 pencil in dollars, and let y represent the cost of 1 eraser in dollars. By doing this, we've set the foundation for the equation formulation that we will tackle in the next step. Comprehensive example, continued. Now that we have defined our variables in the previous step, where x represents the cost of a pencil and y represents the cost of an eraser, let's move on to step 2, which is equation formulation. This is where we translate those English sentences into math. Looking at our first condition, it says 2 pencils and 3 erasers cost $12. To turn this into an equation, we use our variables. 2 times x plus 3 times y equals 12. This gives us our first equation, 2x plus 3y equals 12. Next, let's look at the second condition. 4 pencils and 1 eraser cost $11. Following the same logic, 4 times x plus 1 times y equals 11. So, our second equation is 4x plus y equals 11. Now we move to step 3, which is graphical resolution. To actually draw these lines on a graph, we can't just guess, we need to find specific coordinates. We'll find at least 2 points for each line. Let's start with our first equation, 2x plus 3y equals 12. A great trick here is to find the intercepts. First, let's see what happens if we set x to 0. If x is 0, then 3y equals 12, which means y equals 4. This gives us our first coordinate point, 0, 4. Now let's see what happens if we set y to 0. In that case, 2x equals 12, so x equals 6. That gives us our second point, 6, 0. Now let's do the same for our second equation. 4x plus y equals 11. For this one, I'll pick 2 different values for x to see where they land. If we let x be 2, then 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus y equals 11, which means y must be 3. So our third point is 2, 3. If we let x be 3, then 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 plus y equals 11, which means y equals -1. That gives us our fourth point, 3, -1. Once we plot all these points on our Cartesian plane and draw the straight lines through them, we are looking for the exact spot where the 2 lines cross. Now, looking at my initial notes, I see a calculation error here. The intersection isn't exactly 2.66. Let's pause here and perform a more precise calculation in the next slide to find the exact intersection point. Comprehensive example, continued. Now, let's move on to slide 5. On the previous slide, we were plotting our points, but as you might have noticed, finding the exact intersection point just by looking at a hand-drawn graph can be a bit tricky and sometimes imprecise. So, to be absolutely certain of our answer, we are going to solve the system algebraically to find the exact intersection. First, let's take our second equation, which was 4x plus y equals 11, and rearrange it to isolate why this gives us y equals 11 minus 4x. Now, we will use the substitution method. We'll take this expression for y and plug it into our first equation, which was 2x plus 3y equals 12. When we substitute, we get 2x plus 3 times the quantity 11 minus 4x equals 12. Let's expand that bracket. 3 times 11 is 33, and 3 times -4x is -12x, so our equation becomes 2x plus 33 minus 12x equals 12. Next, we combine our like terms. 2x minus 12x gives us -10x, so -10x plus 33 equals 12. If we subtract 33 from both sides, we get -10x equals -21. Dividing both sides by -10, we find that x equals 2.1. Now that we have the value for x, let's find why. We'll go back to our rearranged equation. Y equals 11 minus 4 times 2.1. Since 4 times 2.1 is 8.4, we have 11 minus 8.4, which leaves us with y equals 2.6. This confirms that the exact intersection point on our graph is 2.1, 2.6. Translating this back to our real-world problem, we can conclude that the cost of one pencil is $2.10, or $2.1, and the cost of one eraser is $2.60, or $2.6. But we aren't finished just yet. To ensure we haven't made any calculation errors, we must proceed to step 4, verification. We need to plug these values back into our original conditions from the word problem. For the first condition, 2 pencils and 3 erasers costing $12. 2 times 2.1 is 4.2, and 3 times 2.6 is 7.8. When we add 4.2 and 7.8, we get exactly 12. That's a match. Finally, for the second condition, 4 pencils and 1 eraser costing $11. 4 times 2.1 is 8.4, and adding 2.6 gives us exactly 11. Since both conditions are satisfied, we can be completely confident that our solution is correct. Common mistakes to avoid. Now that we have walked through the complete process of solving our stationery shop example, I want to pause and discuss some common pitfalls. Even when you understand the method, it is very easy to make small errors that lead to the wrong answer. Let's look at 4 common mistakes to avoid. First, watch out for incorrect variable definitions. This is a subtle but critical error. As we saw in our first step of the example, you shouldn't just say, "Let X be the pencil." You must be specific and include the units, saying, "Let X be the cost of 1 pencil in dollars." If you don't define what X represents, you might find a number on your graph but have no idea if it refers to the quantity, the weight, or the price, which makes the final verification step impossible. Second, be very careful with misinterpreting phrases. Translating English into algebra is often the hardest part of modeling. For instance, if a problem says, X is 5 more than Y, many students mistakenly write X plus 5 equals Y, but remember, is translates to the equals sign, so the correct equation should be X equals Y plus 5. Always read these phrases slowly to ensure your equation matches the logic of the sentence. Third, pay close attention to your scaling errors. Since we are using the graphical method, the accuracy of your answer depends entirely on how you draw your axes. If you choose a scale that is too large or too small, your lines might look correct, but the intersection point might be hidden or impossible to read precisely. Always choose a scale that allows the intersection to fall clearly within your plotted area so you can identify the coordinates accurately. Finally, don't forget the ultimate goal. Do not ignore the intersection. It is common to see students work hard to plot 2 beautiful, straight lines, but then stop there. Remember, the lines themselves are just tools. The actual solution to the word problem is specifically the point of intersection, the X and Y coordinates where those 2 lines meet. As we move to our final slide, we will summarize the key takeaways to ensure you can approach any word problem with confidence. Key takeaways. First, let's revisit the concept of modeling. As we discussed at the beginning of our session, modeling is simply the bridge between the real world and mathematics. It is the essential process of taking a descriptive, verbal situation and converting it into precise algebraic equations. Second, always maintain consistency. When you are working through your equations, you must ensure that your variables, such as X and Y, maintain the exact same meaning and units across both equations. If X represents the cost of a pencil in the first equation, it must represent the cost of a pencil in the second as well. Third, remember the meaning of the visual solution. When you look at your graph, the intersection point, which we denote as X, Y, is not just a random point on the plane. In the context of a word problem, this specific point represents the unique physical values that satisfy all the conditions or constraints provided in the problem. Finally, never skip the step of verification. Once you have identified your solution, always plug those final values back into the original text of the problem. This is the best way to ensure your mathematical logic holds up and that your answer actually makes sense in the real-world scenario we started with. To wrap up our lesson today, let's review the key takeaways to ensure you have a solid grasp of how to apply the graphical method to word problems. If you follow these steps carefully, you'll find that even the most complex word problems become much more manageable.